Let's start with something real. When you're on this twin flame journey, it's easy to feel like you need to explain it to people. You feel this pull that's so intense, so out of the ordinary, that you think, if others could just understand this, maybe I'd feel less crazy. And maybe you've already tried. Maybe you've told a friend or someone close and they didn't get it. They gave you that look like you're imagining things. Or they said, you're just obsessed. And it cut deep. I get it. Because this connection isn't like anything else. It's not a normal relationship where you can show pictures, tell a timeline, and make it make sense. It's not something the world teaches us to understand. So naturally, you want to explain. You want people to know this is real, that you're not making it up, that what you feel is true. But here's the thing. You don't have to prove it to anyone. Not your family, not your friends, not even to the person who's your twin flame. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but trust me, trying to prove it will only drain you and it won't give you the peace you're looking for. The truth is, this journey is yours and it's sacred. It's not for validation. It's for transformation. And the more you understand that, the more freedom and peace you'll feel. So today, we're going to talk about why you don't need to prove this connection to anyone, why it's okay if no one else understands, and how to let go of that pressure. By the end, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to see that not only is it unnecessary to prove this connection, it can actually block your growth if you try. Let's dive in. The first reason you don't have to prove your connection is simple. This is not a social experience. It's a spiritual one. Most people are used to relationships being something public. You meet someone, you date, you post pictures, you tell your friends, and everyone claps. That's what the world understands. But a twin flame connection doesn't fit that mold. It's not about social milestones. It's about something much deeper, your soul's growth. When you try to explain your connection to people who aren't on this path, you're speaking two different languages. They're thinking in terms of, are you dating? Are they good for you? Do they treat you well? They're measuring it like any other relationship. And you're over here trying to explain telepathic thoughts, energy shifts, dreams, intense triggers, and spiritual awakening. It's like trying to explain color to someone who's only seen black and white. Here's why this matters. When you try to make something spiritual fit into a social box, you shrink it. You take something divine and try to make it digestible for people who aren't meant to carry it. And when they don't get it, you feel invalidated. Not because the connection isn't real, but because you tried to make it fit into a system that was never designed for it. Instead of pouring energy into proving something that can't be explained in worldly terms, focus on experiencing it fully. The twin flame journey isn't about who knows, who approves, or who claps for you. It's about your soul aligning with itself. It's about healing, clearing wounds, learning self-love, and becoming whole. No one else has to understand that for it to be real. When you accept that this is between you, your twin, and the divine, the pressure lifts. You stop trying to gather witnesses for something that was never meant for the crowd. And that's when you start feeling peace, because you're no longer dragging your sacred experience into spaces that can't hold it. Let's be honest. What are we really looking for when we try to prove our connection? Validation. We want someone to nod and say, wow, that's real. That's deep. You're not crazy. Because on this journey, there are moments where you question yourself. It feels unreal at times. So when someone else confirms it, it feels like proof that we're not imagining things. But here's the truth. No one outside of you can validate this. They don't feel what you feel. They don't carry the energy you carry. They don't wake up in the middle of the night feeling your twin's emotions or hear their name in your head out of nowhere. They don't know what it's like to feel someone in your soul, even when they're miles away. So how can they validate what they can't experience? Even your twin can't validate it for you. That might sound strange, but it's true. Because the purpose of this connection is for you to trust yourself and your intuition, even when the outside world gives you nothing to hold on to. If your twin woke up tomorrow and said, yes, we're twin flames, would that really change the truth? No, it would feel good, but the truth was always there before they said it. Relying on others for validation creates a cycle that keeps you stuck. Every time you don't get the reaction you hoped for, you doubt yourself. And every time you doubt yourself, you chase validation harder. It becomes exhausting. But when you decide, I know what I know, and that's enough, the game changes. You stop needing approval, and you start standing in your own knowing. And that's when the journey starts to feel empowering instead of heavy. One of the hardest parts of this journey is that it doesn't follow logic. It's mystical. It's spiritual. It involves energy, telepathy, soul merging, and a love that transcends lifetimes. But we live in a world that worships logic. If you can't measure it, prove it, or explain it in a neat little box, people dismiss it. That's just how most people are wired. So when you try to explain your twin flame connection, you're setting yourself up for frustration. You're trying to make something infinite fit into a finite mind. And when they say things like, it sounds like obsession, or you're just making it up, it stings. Not because they're right, but because you tried to give them something sacred and they couldn't hold it. It's like giving someone a piece of music and they're deaf. They can't hear the melody. They can only see the paper. No matter how hard you try, they'll never hear what you hear. And the more you try to make them, the more drained you feel. So why fall into that trap? Why put yourself in a position where your truth depends on someone else's limited understanding? Instead, protect your peace. Keep the parts of your journey that are sacred. Sacred. Share only with those who are open to spirituality, those who can hold space without judgment. And even then, remember, your truth is your truth, whether anyone else sees it or not. Here's something most people don't realize. The energy you spend trying to prove this connection is energy taken away from your growth. And growth is the whole point. This connection isn't just about love or romance. It's about transformation. It's about healing childhood wounds, releasing fears, breaking patterns, and stepping into your highest self. But when your focus is on convincing others, you lose sight of that. You start watching for signs to show someone else, instead of seeing them as guidance for you. You start chasing proof instead of alignment. And before you know it, you're so busy trying to make others believe that you forget the journey is about your soul, not their approval. Here's the truth. Proving this connection will never satisfy you. Even if someone believes you, you'll want them to really understand, and they never will, not the way you do. So stop pouring energy into what doesn't matter. Pour it into what does. Your healing, your purpose, your alignment. Because when you do that, everything else starts to fall into place. The connection strengthens, the signs flow, the journey feels lighter, and you realize you never needed proof. You just needed to grow. Let's slow down and talk about the people in your life for a moment. The truth is, not everyone is going to understand what you're going through, and that's completely okay. They're not supposed to. Their soul isn't walking your path, and their role in your life is different. Some people are there to share laughs, some to teach lessons, and some just to walk with you for a season. But very few are meant to understand the depth of something as rare as a twin flame connection. And here's the thing, you don't need everyone to understand. If you think about it, the people who truly matter, the ones who really love and respect you, they won't demand proof. They don't need you to convince them. Even if they don't fully grasp what a twin flame is, they'll still support you because they value you. They'll trust that what you feel is real for you. They might say, I don't get all the details, but I believe in you. And that's more than enough. But let's go deeper than that. The one person whose understanding really matters is you. And this is where many people struggle. We often think that if someone else believes us, then it makes everything feel more real. But the truth is, no amount of outside approval will make you feel at peace if you don't believe in yourself. That's why self-trust is so important. The more you trust your own feelings, the less you care who doubts you. The more you stand firm in your experience, the less you feel the need to explain. And when you stop explaining, something amazing happens. You feel free. Think about it. Every time you try to justify your connection, you're giving away a piece of your energy. You're putting your sacred experience on a scale for someone else to weigh and measure. But this journey isn't for the world to judge. It's between you, your soul, and the divine. No one else needs to sign off on it. You don't owe anyone that kind of access to your heart. So here's the truth. You don't have to put your soul on display like it's a project that needs approval. You don't have to list signs, explain dreams, or prove the depth of your feelings. You just have to live it. Walk the path, trust the process, keep your heart open. That's all this journey asks of you. Everything else, the need for proof, the explanations, the validation, those are just distractions. Let them go. When you do, you'll feel lighter. You'll finally breathe. Because this isn't about being understood by the world, it's about being true to yourself. So here's the bottom line. You don't have to prove your twin flame connection because it's not something that can be proven. It's not a science experiment or a checklist. It's a soul experience. It's something you feel deep inside, and that's enough. You were never asked to convince the world. You were asked to live it. Your soul called you to this path for a reason. Every sign, every intense emotion, every lesson, it's all meant for you. Not for your friends, not for your family, not for anyone watching from the sidelines. Just you. This is your journey. And here's what happens when you stop trying to prove it. You take your power back. You stop chasing validation and start embracing growth. You stop explaining and start experiencing. You stop worrying about who believes you and start focusing on why you're here. That shift changes everything. Because the energy you were spending on explanations, now it goes toward healing, toward becoming the best version of yourself, toward stepping into your purpose. And that's when the magic really begins. That's when the journey stops feeling heavy and starts feeling beautiful. That's when you feel peace. Because you finally understand you don't need anyone else to see it. You don't need anyone else to say it's real. You just need to live it. You just need to trust it. And that's enough. It's always been enough.